Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
Welcome to the Filmistines, the double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience of the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level. For the $5 tier, we'll grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience.
They're an experience
All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined today by my curmudgeonly friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. Wait, curmudgeon wouldn't say that.
Fuck your holidays.
Yeah, fuck your holidays.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistine. Some recent episodes include District 9, Moonlight, If Beale Street Could Talk, Trolls Band Together, and Brother Beer. But today we are discussing I'm just going to start off strong, probably the most overrated movie of the year. Alex Payne's, I want to say Thomas Payne. Of course, that's not the right Payne. Any relation? I don't know. But Alexander Payne's The Holdovers. The recent 2023 The Holdovers.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Definitely overrated. I'm trying to think, there was a recent film that we watched that was kind of overrated, but I don't think it's quite on this level. Probably Sound of Freedom is what I'm thinking, but definitely not on this level.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom isn't as strong of a film, but it's also not nearly as loved. I think this film's better than Sound of Freedom, but I also think Sound of Freedom's borderline bad. I don't think this is a bad film. I think this is a very fine film. It's the only real star of the show, I think, is maybe emulating some of that old 70s, 80s look of filmmaking. I'm not really sure. Wasn't around back then. Haven't seen an awful lot of films. Didn't grow up with it. Didn't grow up in the times to get the feel of the air, you know? So I do like the
VHS-look?
The VHS-look. Yeah. I do think that's kind of fun. But I was mostly bored out of my mind with this movie. I like theatrical performances, right? I love Nick Cage. He's not quite theater, I guess, but he's something.
Yeah.
Along those lines.
He's extra.
And I feel like we get a little bit of that here. I don't know if it's like an improvisation kind of situation or some kind of, mumblecore exercise.
Yeah, something about the performances for me were not hitting home. Of course, our main dude, Paul Hunnam, was pretty great. He was pretty fantastic. He definitely has this interesting look, and, especially with his lazy eye, which I guess is not real, by the way. I thought it totally was.
Yeah,
great job. You fooled me. But besides him, everyone else, I don't know if I want to use the word fell flat or were kind of just not on par with him. And I see that the actress who plays Mary is being predicted to win or predicted to be nominated Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars. And I don't know. I don't see it. I definitely think they start out strong with her character here in this film and just completely forget about her throughout.
Yeah, she's not really your proper secondary supporting, or primary, I guess, supporting actor. She does fall to the back burner pretty quick, especially when they leave the school. Like that's not what your supporting character does. The kid is the supporting character of this film. Sort of.
He's sort of a main supporting character.
Yeah, but they kind of ride this line of an ensemble cast where there's not really a main character either.
Well, yes and no, because Paul here is the only character who, to me, feels like actually developed and grew. And that's kind of a trait of our main character. He's the only one that had an ending, had something to look forward to. Whereas Angus and Mary are still stuck in the school. They're still going to be the way they are. So because of that, it felt to me like it was more of Paul's story than anyone else. And if it wasn't supposed to be taken that way, then I definitely took it that way. Just because of the lack of growth of the other characters.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They land with him getting fired, so that's pretty dramatic shift in a character in a movie. Like that's
yeah.
But I guess the setup to that feels so mumblecore-y, where it's so implied that there's so much underneath all of these characters' words, and I think this movie balances this weird act. I'm not sure if I'm just not being sold quite what it is, but up until the last maybe 15 minutes, it feels like a mumblecore film where we don't get a lot of meaningful emotion and context with what characters are saying. We have to read into their body language, and like it lands on a weird Barton adage, I guess, that Barton men don't lie, and they echo it 2 or 3 times, probably 3 times. That's the rule of thumb, right? Where he lies about why Angus goes to the psychiatric place to go see his dad. And it's just, I don't know, I'm just not sold on him doing that, I guess. I don't know. I'm just like, this is, I guess the story itself is not very good to me. The performances are very good, but I don't know, I guess the point of everything, which there's not a lot of point, it's a very pointless film for the most part, which is fine, but it tries to run home with what exactly?
I guess trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, like his perception of all these Barton boys they're spoiled. They don't know what true struggles are. They don't know what life is. And here comes Angus with, depression problems and a dad that we think is dead, but in reality is in a psychiatric ward. And, his parents do not give a fuck about him, or at least his mom and his stepdad. And just all these issues he kind of has makes Paul see him as a human. I don't know. Which makes him stand up for them. And in reverse, I'm not sure what Angus is supposed to get from him. Because I think the lesson here is also for him to be putting himself in his professor's shoes. Because he's just this grouchy hard ass in the beginning, and later we come to find that he actually got expelled from his school for plagiarism, but it wasn't even his fault, and that's why he has this tie of everyone's just entitled because they're rich, and I guess the faculty hates him because he didn't pass a student. I mean,
well, and he's just kind of himself, so
yeah.
So maybe Angus is looking into a mirror a little bit about having, doesn't really matter how you get kicked out of school, you're going to be looked at as you got kicked out of school. And Angus is on that path already, we know.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe there's a little bit of that, of looking, this could be a future me in some way. Because maybe at the end there where Paul says to, I think, his parents or the principal or whatever, that Angus he's smart but not brilliant or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's really talking about himself.
Yep. I mean, yeah. I guess he could be, but this movie was way too long and too boring for me to have gotten much out of it. This is the movie, and they're calling it a Christmas movie.
It's
and a new Oscar classic, and I don't know, all these claims, but this is the type of movie that when your family's coming over and you want to have something in the background, you put this movie on. And it's just there because it looks very pretty. Nothing you have to pay attention to, but it's, long enough that it can run the whole time your party's going on for 2.5 hours. I don't know how long it is, but.
Is this a supremely executed Hallmark movie?
Kind of feels like it.
It's an Oscar bait movie.
Yes. And I don't like that it's baiting people. I don't like that people are falling for it.
It's kind of funny. I mean, I think it's an excellently produced film. It's got some great acting in it, at least out of Paul. I don't really care for Mary after we leave the school, especially. She's a fun character. She brings something out in Paul that I like a lot, and I wish that could have been maybe more of the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bond out of convenience and necessity of just being alone with each other, and that's a fun dynamic. And they watch a stupid game show, and Mary stays. They all stay at the school, and Mary has like this whole pad, all furnished out and stuff. It's very cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's how private schools work.
Oh, okay. That's probably my favorite scene is where Mary and Paul hang out for the first time.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice scene.
And then I like the scene, I guess, later when Angus is there and he's listening to some gossip or something, and I can't remember what it exactly was, but it was just, like, can we get more of that? I don't know. But I did want to mention that Alex Payne has had every film of his at the Oscars, except the most recent before the Holdovers. So, he's
a dude.
He's one of their guys, yeah.
He's a guy that gets, okay. Is he rich?
Probably not. Not making movies like this.
Damn.
I
mean, like other rich, like other monies. I don't know. That's just a question that popped into my head.
You thinking he buys his way into the Oscars?
Look, just a question that popped into my head. That's all I am saying.
I don't know.
You said it.
I don't know.
Yeah, the story doesn't do it for me. Especially the way that Angus is the only boy that gets left. That part seemed kind of silly to me, and I don't know if this is supposed to be a funny movie. There are some funny moments in it. I know it's not a comedy, but just kind of felt like a Home Alone kind of humor when all the other boys just happened to go on a ski trip because of one guy's dad that brought a helicopter. That was very ridiculous. And I don't know if I was supposed to find it humorous, but I didn't. I just thought it was weird. It was super weird and not fitting for what this movie was trying to be.
Yeah, it was hard to tell where the movie was going at that point because we were focusing so much on the group of kids.
Right.
And then it all of a sudden felt kind of focusless.
Right. I thought it was going in the friendship kind of
Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Route. That would have been cute.
Because of how he helped that Asian kid hide that he peed the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we were kind of having a moment here, and then all these boys were going to come out having a friend or something to go through with them in the school. But no, they just got flown out. Like, okay, great. Now what? Now all this time you spent developing these boys and me vaguely caring for them, now they're gone. Now I have to switch perspective. I mean, what is going on here?
Yeah, you gotta wonder if that's a moment of movies of yesterday kind of thing.
Well, they should have stayed in yesterday. They should have stayed in the past because they're confusing.
They mostly have. I think. I don't know if a lot of people make movies like this.
And it really didn't pick up for me until they had their trip. But then we lost Mary. We lost a crucial third member. So it was just off. It was very off. And we come back. Paul sacrifices his job for this kid. I mean, I don't know how many people sacrifice their jobs for a kid that they feel sorry for.
Well, I think maybe part of it was we were supposed to get the impression that Paul was like waiting for something big to happen so he could go to the next thing in his life, but he's been teaching here for 30 years or whatever, 25 years, and that doesn't really happen. Normally you don't just wait for something to happen, you have to go get it. But I'm not sure exactly what he wanted either.
I guess he wanted to write a book, his monograph.
Yeah, but this is that mumblecore kind of thing tapping in a little bit where that wasn't exactly what he wanted. He wanted something a little bit more, and just like I don't know. It's just it taps a little too much into that mumblecore thing for me to like just say it already. I don't know. It's mumblecore is the worst genre of filmmaking. I'm just gonna go out and say it. And this isn't entirely mumblecore, but I think it's probably like 70%. So it's just it's way too much percent. 10% maybe fine. I may not even notice.
Yeah, 70% of a 2.25, 2.5 hour movie, not good.
I did want to tell you that Paul, the guy who plays Paul, his name is Paul in real life. He plays Tim in Robots.
Oh, okay. That's funny. He's also in Lady in the Water.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I don't know what I was reading. I was like, what? That's him? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's when I knew that the lazy eye wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, did he develop a lazy eye throughout his filming career? But funny. No, apparently that's what he did. Which, the actor who plays Angus said that really helped him get into character. Because when that lazy eye was on, he knew he should be on. And when the lazy eye was off, he knew that, okay, we're not filming, we're cool, we're not, which was hilarious to hear. It's like when you put makeup on, you're like, all right, we're in the role, we're in the character. For him, it was the lazy eye.
They filmed some of this at Angus's actual high school where he graduated.
Why?
I don't know. It probably just worked out that way. They did local casting calls, and he maybe lives in the area still.
So did he get chosen because of his school?
I doubt it.
Okay.
They filmed at several schools.
They filmed at different schools? Okay. All right.
Like the cafeteria is probably one, the kitchen was probably one, the outside of it was probably one.
That's cool. So he's a private school kid? Was that a private school too? Where they filmed at? Or did he just go to a bougie-ass, old-ass high school?
It's actually it's one of the first private schools in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Founded in 1797.
1797. That is insane.
That's actually pretty nuts.
Okay, I'm sure he got picked because of his school now.
I think they, by the looks of it, maybe they just filmed the outside shots at that school. And that would be because of its primitive look.
And that was his debut role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was reading that, which he did a fine job. He did an okay job.
He did better than most, well, maybe not most, but he did better than a lot of full-time professional actors. So this guy, he's moving up.
Yeah, especially in the scene when he broke his arm. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the school was much better location than them going to Boston. Things really took a nosedive in Boston.
When it shouldn't have. That should have been our hallmark. Feel good.
Well, those were the moments that all the trauma was revealed, within these characters.
But that's the bond.
Yeah, but those should have been real gut punches, and they just...
Yes. And they weren't.
I don't know what that was about. That was just like, I'm sorry. The Holdovers, not very good.
Not very good. And it wasn't bad enough for me to shit on either.
Yeah, it's not a shitty movie.
It's not a shitty movie.
It's that movie that your parents are watching when you're, a kid. You're like, fuck, they're putting this movie on. That's what you're thinking in your head, and then but you don't have anything else to do, maybe. And so you just sit there and watch it, and you're just like, why do they like these movies? Why do they like these movies from the 1950s? I don't know.
That's exactly what this is.
This is fucking parent ass movie.
This is a parent ass movie. Talking about dad movies, this is a parent movie.
Yeah. We need to get a good definition of what Oscar bait looks like. I'm not really sure. I hear people throw that around, but this feels like Oscar bait. Ford versus Ferrari feels like Oscar bait. Maybe the dad movie thing in general is an Oscar bait thing because
just how good it looks.
Is it a crispiness of the movie?
I think it's a crispiness of the movie.
Because I think Air is also kind of an Oscar bait movie with the award-winning director Ben Affleck.
Probably also the characters in it or the actors in it make it a little
maybe
not in this case, but I don't know. And is it because it's supposedly a Christmas movie? Is that Oscar baity?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it does kind of. It is going to enter in the echelon of those movies that they're not really Christmas movies, but they just take place at Christmas. You know, like Nightmare Before Christmas, much more of a Christmas movie than this. I'd argue it's a hardcore Christmas movie. You got Jack saving Christmas.
Yeah, we can argue about that, but at least I agree that it is more of a Christmas movie than this movie.
Yeah,
like how people say Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I couldn't think of one fast enough. Good job. Another thing that was a little weird, and I did read about it, and I thought about it while watching the film, and we get a fraction of it through Mary with her son dying in Vietnam. This is the most politically kind of tense time I feel like in American history, and I don't know if that was like echoed in movies at the time, or there was this kind of agenda to pretend, or at least to not pretend in that it doesn't exist, but to just kind of give you some fresh air of not everything needs to be doom and gloom kind of thing, even though it might take place at a doom and gloom time. But we didn't get any political heat in this movie that I thought we might, because they really kind of place us in, all right, we're at a time of social strife,
Yeah, I thought all they were trying to say with that, which, me missing stuff in movies, was that Mary was poor, and the only reason her son went to war in the first place was to get the GI Bill so he could pay for college.
Which is a thing. Even today, I imagine it was even more so then, because, the military could actually pay for your school. They fucking couldn't today because no one can.
And just a little bit of the social inequalities.
Yeah, maybe.
Just to throw in some different character here. I don't know.
I guess it just brings the question, why bring it up?
Yeah. It's not like they took a stand or made us socially aware of anything. Unless they are trying to make us socially aware of GI Bills, I guess. Don't sign up for the military just to go to school. Who knows? Not worth the free school? I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. That's an interesting point.
Are you okay with calling this a period piece?
No, this is not a period piece. We didn't have enough of the period. We didn't have enough of the settings. Well, yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that. Because we did go through a few museums. I did like the outdoor bookstore that they were at when they went to Boston. That was pretty cool.
What the fuck if it rains?
I know.
All of a sudden.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, those books are fucked. Maybe that's like a guilt thing. They're trying to make you buy the books real quick. So I definitely would. I'd be like, oh shit.
Save the books.
Save the books.
That was weird when that, like, prostitute lady, whatever she was, came up to Paul and was like, hey, looking for a good time? That was weird.
That was weird. I don't know. Maybe it's a Boston thing.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it is. That's funny.
But we didn't get enough of maybe some of the other things that were going on in this time period for it to be called a period piece. And just the feeling of period pieces. It was missing there. Period pieces are very dramatic and heartfelt. And there was nothing dramatic or heartfelt in this movie. Do you think Paul is going to be, first of all, nominated for best, what do they call it? Best actor? Best performance actor? Best lead actor? I'm sure there's a fancy title there.
Yeah, I think it's best leading actor.
Best leading actor. You think he's going to be nominated? Or you want to save your predictions?
I don't have predictions. There's too many movies. I will be happy to predict when the shortlist comes out, but...
All right. So, because I saw a lot of it. I saw a lot of him being predicted to be nominated and Mary to be predicted. Are people only saying this because of the lazy eye? Which is, I mean, that's pretty amazing. It's awesome. I don't know if I've seen anything like that. Now that I know, I'm surprised his eye didn't get stuck that way. You know how your mom's always telling you, don't do a certain thing because you're gonna get stuck that way?
Wait, he has control over this eye?
Yeah.
He can do that to his eye?
Yes.
You saw him say that?
I saw the guy who plays Angus tell us that.
It's not a prosthetic?
Oh, I don't know. Is it a prosthetic?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought you knew.
No. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to be nominated for Best Actor, though. Yeah.
That was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be nominated because I don't think there's an awful lot of competition. I think there's been some really good movies come out, but I don't think I think strong performances are much rarer than good movies.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
So, the performance thing is tough for sure, yeah. But yeah, man, thank you for watching this movie with me and talking about it today.
You're welcome.
Do you have a budget guess?
I do. My budget guess is $25 million, based solely on the length of this movie and how it looked. But now you're telling me they got free shots of schools? I don't know about that.
I don't know. There's no budget online.
Oh, that's nice.
So
I don't know.
So you have no idea. That doesn't feel wrong. 25 million. That doesn't sound bad.
All right. Thank you.
I can get behind that. I think it's still theaters.
It's still at theaters? Didn't it come out in like October?
Yeah, at the end of October, I think. Yeah, and it's gone on to make about 16.4 million so far, but it hasn't had a worldwide release yet, so it might make some money.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what the budget is. It could have been 2 million. Maybe this guy knows how to budget. Who knows?
It's pretty impressive sometimes, so
yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think I did see that it was supposed to release in the UK in January.
Okay.
So it hasn't finished releasing. So yeah. All right. Well, I hope they make some money.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmsteins over on Patreon, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. And remember to leave nice reviews, comments, likes, tell your friends, your grandma. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching, keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins, signing off.